As we shoot this, the Lakers are on somewhat of a winning streak. They've turned around what many viewed in the opening few games as a disappointment, and now they have some triumph. If LeBron continues to put up 34, I think they'll have great triumph. But here's what Young-Misik, who is a staff writer for ESPN, wrote today. LeBron James's voice is without question the most important and influential in the Lakers locker room, but several of the younger players view Rajon Rondo's leadership as second, if not on par to that of James. We've discussed this so many times, right? My whole life is what Lonzo Ball said. I never played with someone like him or LeBron. It's new to me to just try and follow in their footsteps in a way, just because you could see them get the most out of everybody, and the practices are way better than they were last year because they're always challenging people. I mean, he's the best player that I've ever played with between him and LeBron. Here's what Rondo said, and this shows you his nature as a basketball player. Anything I do, cards, Connect Four, driving to school, knowing the best route. My life is pretty calculated. I go home, I have to sleep pregame, 2.5 hours. I eat at certain times. I gotta leave the house at certain times. I shower at certain times before the game. And then Young-Misik wrote about Rondo's typical post-game routine. Regardless of outcome, Rondo will ruminate about the game over a late dinner. He'll cue up some Bob Marley, Bill Walton's favorite, and ease into a film session reviewing the preceding events. This regimen begins around midnight and can stretch to as late as 3 in the morning. Brandon Ingram then said he keeps it super genuine, talking about Rondo, super real. He is in a vocal mode all the time. He is always telling me to attack. He always says, you want to become an all-star, right? Then he goes on and on, how I become that, how I can get easy buckets, how I can become a better defender. And then Rondo says, I'm always replaying the game back. I'll be like, okay, 3:18, first quarter. I like this out of timeout play while we're watching film. And then lastly, before JR weighs in, Lonzo Ball one more time. Yeah, he'll try to get into me. Just stuff to try to get me going. He talks a bunch of trash in practice all the time, which makes me pretty mad. All right, amen to that, brother. Rondo, first off, his entire career, you've been a fan, you in support of?
I've always liked Rondo, the way he plays. When it got to who he was and some of the beefs he got into and stuff, I wouldn't have realized that was a thing with him. But you can tell the guys who are immersed in the game, and I know it's to this degree, but I guess it's not super surprising. I wouldn't assume so. It reminded me of the point when he said he remembers 3 minutes 18 seconds in a quarter. That one time in the playoffs, I believe it was even last year, when LeBron they asked him what happened on that one play, and he went through the photographic memory, as if he just watched the film in front of him and told you what happened. So it's that kind of memory and I guess care that goes into being a great player and also making others better. So this is the kind of leadership you want with younger guys who haven't figured out the best way to do it yet. All these guys are super talented. What was it always say? NBA players, they're good. It's crazy, but you know what? They're all good. So there has to be something that puts you over the top, and he's one of those things. Man, the thing that stuck out to me, I like to schedule the way I leave to go home, to go to school or work.
Sure.
And I'm like, man, this route is better. And I figured out, I always talk about it, like this route is better. But you know, this guy's got his stank on schedule. Like, I gotta shower at 2:57 p.m. or else the funk is gonna start rising by 3:01.
Right. What I love most about Rajon Rondo, in my opinion, is that he's one of the last true classic throwback point guards. He looks for his teammates first instead of scoring. Not that it's a bad thing that Damian Lillard does that and Russell Westbrook does that. There was just a flair to him when he came up with the Boston Celtics. Everyone knew that he couldn't shoot worth a lick, but it didn't matter because he was still a threat offensively because of his vision, because of the way that he studied the game. I appreciate guys that are students of the game. Yet it's his uncanny ability to be a good teammate that separates him from a lot of other point guards, because Anthony Davis said this on May the 6th. I think he, as in Rondo, actually is the one who got me thinking, it's just one game. Don't get too high, don't get too low after the game's over. But he's been a great mentor for me, and it's been fun playing with him. Drew Holiday, another former player, former teammate. Communication, the way he plays, being able to, I guess, question people, make you think. If it's the coaching staff, if it's us, and when I say question, meaning he'll ask a question, maybe with something in mind and be like, all right, I see that, instead of it being like, my way is the only way. And lastly, former head coach Alvin Gentry of Rondos, he's the one guy that will text you at 2 in the morning and say, hey, have you thought about this? I think we could do this. That's who he is. He's a good basketball mind to have around, no doubt about it.
Yeah, that works. It's good. You know, see these guys talk about how it comes in, and again, you talk about the kind of point guard he is, and you have to pick veterans that work with who your new guys are. People talked about how Lonzo couldn't shoot coming in. People talk about how Rondo couldn't shoot, but he's a good point guard in that way, and if he develops him, maybe you can make another one out of him.
Totally. Let us know your thoughts. Comment section below. Subscribe to 2IT Sports. If you made it to the end of this video, mazel tov. If you want to see more, hit the bell and hit subscribe. Why don't you?